Yeah.
No, but you see, time travel actually is theoretically possible. Stephen Hawking once said, "Where are the time travelers from the future taking my picture?" Well, you know, we think maybe they're invisible. By then, time travelers will have invisibility. 2 years ago, we thought it was impossible to get invisibility. In fact, in my optics class at the university, I would tell my students it's impossible for light to bend around an object, reform at the other end. Well, I was wrong. Every
Really?
single physics textbook on the planet Earth is wrong. 2 years ago, it was done at Duke University. With microwave radiation, they took an object, they showed that you can bend microwaves around an object, have it reform on the other side as if it's not there at all. And then at Caltech, just 6 months ago, we did it with visible light. Now think about that. We can now take, in principle, an object and make it disappear just like in the movies. So Harry Potter, watch out. We have teleported particles of light 600 meters across the Danube River. The world's record now is 100 miles from one Canary Island to another. We can teleport particles of light called photons and individual atoms. Atoms of cesium, atoms of beryllium. Next is the space shuttle. We're going to teleport from the Earth to outer space and show that we could teleport through the vacuum of space, just like in Star Trek. After 2020, we're going to teleport to the moon. At Brown University, we've taken a stroke victim who is paralyzed, cannot interact with the outside world. We put a chip in the left part of the brain of a stroke victim who's paralyzed, connected to a laptop. In 3 or 4 hours, the person began to move the cursor on the laptop. The person can now answer email, do crossword puzzles, surf the web, do all sorts of things that you can do on a computer. Now think for a moment, what can you do on a computer? Everything. That's what this person can do, and he's paralyzed. This is going to revolutionize care of paralyzed people, but also, think about it. Think if you're a college student studying for an exam. You can have a tiny microscopic chip implanted, and you can surf the web while you're taking your final exam. Aha! Every kid is going to want this if they have the capability of, without anyone noticing, a microscopic chip placed in the brain that will allow them to download any movie, any website, any piece of music, any exam question, just by thinking about it. I think I solved the problem of how to slip past the event horizon of a black hole without being stretched into a noodle. Find a supermassive black hole. It sounds counterintuitive, but the bigger the black hole, the less the tidal forces at the event horizon. This could be the solution to the spaghettification problem. Find a supermassive black hole. So the tidal forces are actually less than the tidal forces found in a stellar black hole. But now I have another problem. Where am I going to find a supermassive black hole? Given the fact that they're black, light itself cannot escape. They are invisible. You think that finding a supermassive black hole would be easy? I mean, after all, they're gigantic, but they are invisible. They're black. Supermassive black holes can solve many of our problems. First of all, as you pass through the event horizon, you're not necessarily going to get spaghettified. And yes, there is radiation falling in, but the supermassive black hole is isolated. What's the far away from collapsing radiation? So with proper shielding, you can protect yourself against radiation. But now,
To better understand the role of the Fibonacci series and organic geometry in the world around us, we met with Michael Schneider, author of A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe. Michael demonstrates the dynamic presence of the Fibonacci sequence in the living, growing world.
Well, the Fibonacci numbers refers to a sequence of numbers that grow by continual expansion, but a very special balanced growth expansion. And the mathematical definition of them really is an archetypal pattern. Starts off with the numbers 0 and 1. 0 sort of acts like a seed in a sense. 0 and 1, and the rule is that each next term is the sum of the two previous terms. So 0 plus 1 make 1, 1 plus 1 make 2, 1 plus 2 make 3, 2 and 3 make 5, 3 and 5 make 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233, and endless. But it's an expansive pattern that shows organic growth patterns that occur all through nature.
The invisible Fibonacci spiral shows itself in the visible world, in the nautilus shell, the sunflower, and the branching of trees.
This mathematical sequence charts nature's progress of organic spiraling growth through self-accumulation. The appearance of this sequence, embodied by the Fibonacci spiral or golden spiral in plants, animals, or solar systems, tells us that the Fibonacci sequence and phi ratio underlie an internal harmony, excellence, and dynamic balance during the inevitable growth and dissolution processes. It is the play of life itself, clothed in the four states of matter. These characteristics are the open secret of balance of animal horns, seashells, plants, and galaxies. For example, as the chambered nautilus creature grows larger, the gland that exudes shell material also grows, building a widening shell. The shell's golden spiral shape maintains the same center of gravity at any size, so the nautilus need not learn how to balance itself as it matures. The same is true for the growing horns of a ram. As the horn material accumulates, growing larger and more massive, its golden spiral shape maintains the same center of gravity. Thus, the ram need not adjust its posture throughout life to uphold its growing horns. Similarly, the tree that puts out branches and leaves in spiral staircases up and around their respective trunks can get enormously large, yet the tree always balances, no matter how massive and complex it grows to be.
And so any kind of organic expansion will benefit from this kind of growth that incorporates balance, physical balance. It will pack the most seeds in the least space. And whenever you find these Fibonacci numbers, you also find spirals. And the benefit of the spiral is, of course, organic, expansive growth in a kind of a fashion that will also maximize all the benefits of the seed properties and so forth.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses, as a consequence of the imperfection inherent in every human being. To more accurately reflect the varying grotesqueries of your nature, the chemical precursors that signal an emotion, designed specifically to overwhelm logic and reason. But rest assured,